All right, everyone. I am excited to introduce to the show nautical legends, Vicky, Isaac, and Gopher from the Love Boat, and now currently sailing as hosts of the Love Boat podcast. Exciting and new. Please welcome to the show, Jill Whelan, and welcome back, Ted Lange and Fred Grandy. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. And you inspired us, man. I mean, I remember doing your podcast. I don't know how long ago it was, but I kept thinking, maybe, and it was actually my son, Jeff, who is a producer and a showrunner himself, who said, hey, why don't you guys do a podcast? And he has offered to produce it and put it together and found our wonderful engineer, Andrew. And so here we are, ensemble, as it were.
Ensemble.
Trying to reach the Jeff Dwoskin standard. Well, I mean, really,
we're working on it.
We're working on it.
That means the world to me. I cherish the time that you and I and Ted and I had together, and now I'm excited to bring Jill into the Classic Conversations Love Boat.
Yes, we're with you. Go ahead, Jeff.
I had Bernie Coppell on the show as well. He was a joy. This sets a record for my podcast of 4 people from the same show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's 3 was the current record, and then now.
Well, I'm glad we broke that record.
Gets the award in the special.
2 more and you get egg rolls.
Yeah,
I know exactly. 1 more and I get a jacket.
Well, we were just all on a cruise together. We were just on one of these Love Boat reunion cruises. What was that? It was the end of November, right?
Right before Thanksgiving.
Just before Thanksgiving. And Bernie was with us, and Cindy Lauren Tweez was with us too. So we had a full quorum.
The old gang was back together again.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love how now with the podcast itself, just how together you guys all are. There is no shortage if I go on YouTube and type Love Boat cast of just from every moment in time, just some form, a group of you guys together doing something.
From the
like
year of the flood until present.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. There's an Old Testament and a New Testament now.
We're in both.
Right.
So I realized I have, look what I have here.
Oh,
where'd you get that?
This is
nice.
But here's the impressive thing about this Pacific Cruises mug. It's 25 years old and you can still see the logo. So that's
Jeff, we weren't counting.
Jeff, we were on the boat and they had women that had on Love Boat dresses with our picture on it when we were
in curious places.
In very curious places.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, hey, you guys, Jill and Fred, I bought my wife the dress.
Oh, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Why would you do that?
You're not going to ask her to wear it, are you?
Yes. I was asking her to wear it. And she told me in no uncertain terms, she was never going to put that dress on.
I mean, you're lucky she hasn't consulted an attorney. That is, what are you, crazy?
Who's to say she hasn't?
That's very good.
This is, you know what these Love Boat cruises are, Jeff? They're like our personal Comic Con at sea because people dress up. They wear all of these costumes.
And we have to do it. We have to do it over in the ocean where it's not legal in the States.
Yeah. And they make tchotchkes for us. They
my God.
Hats and bags and stuff with the logo and rhinestones.
Ducks are a big deal on cruises. I don't know why. Do you know why that is, Jill?
Yeah, someone.
Yes. There's just a sort of like a hide and seek game with these ducks, and the crew hide them. Started with kids. You just hide them for kids, and kids would go around the ship trying to find these ducks, and now it's just a thing.
I had about 4 of them in my stateroom when I left. I mean, they would just appear and they'd be passed out. I mean, we do these things, and these ships now. What's the capacity of the Regal Princess? About 4,200.
No, 5.
No.
5.
Well, no, including crew, it's 40. I think it's 3,600, something like that.
3,600 passengers. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and these things sell out, Jeff. And they, and we do these Q&As in their theater, which is 1,000 people, and there are people standing outside watching it on a jumbotron.
On the pool on the Lido deck.
It's the show that will not die.
If you go to my Instagram, you'll see I took a video of all of us when we did one of our talkbacks with the answering questions and stuff, and they put us on this elevator lift below the stage and brought us up to the stage with the Love Boat theme. And I took my camera as we were coming up to videotape the audience. And I mean, it's humbling and it's amazing and completely shocking, I think, to all of us that this long after. But go to my Instagram and you'll find it. It's really interesting.
Donald Trump would be very impressed with the way we do this. I mean, this is very Trump-like, the way we present ourselves on these things.
How dare you say
How
that?
dare you?
I was doing that to get a reaction from
Yeah,
the two of
you got it too, buddy.
For those of you still listening,
Hello.
how long are these, like 4-day cruises, 7-day cruises? How long are
7.
they?
Usually a week. You know, this last time we sailed out of Galveston and you go to the Western Caribbean and it's Cozumel and a place called Roatan, which is a little island off the coast of Honduras. And then, you know, sometimes we'll be in Mexico on the other side, you know, Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta. And then sometimes out of the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, right?
With St. Thomas and all of that.
And 2 years ago, we went
the whole time on the cruise. You're there the whole time.
Yeah.
I remember going on a cruise and my dad got called up by the magician and the magician did a trick with him. And then for the rest of the cruise, it was like, oh, you're the dentist that was in the magic show. But I can only imagine what it's like for you guys.
Yeah.
Like it's because the difference between a Comic-Con, it would be like you're at the table, it happens, and then it's kind of over. This is a 7-day full.
You're at the table.
Experience.
You're at the table all day long for 7 days.
We're at the table till we're under the table.
Yeah, that's right.
Do I get to can I win like zip lining with Jill or something like that during the show? During the cruise? You guys do that?
We don't do that, but what we do is each of us do kind of like different, like Ted does a making a drink sort of presentation. And then I did a love and marriage game show and Fred.
You do trivia too. I mean, you do the trivia night.
And then a trivia thing as well, hosting a karaoke night. And then we have passengers who are really enthusiastic about Love Boat can pay extra for VIP tickets. And then we do a dinner with them alone and a cocktail party with them alone. And so it's really fun. And they're so lovely. They just
it's like 3 generations now, Jeff. It's not just geezers like us. I mean, you got people who have only seen the show in reruns or on streaming, and they're as devoted as the people that watch the original broadcasts. I mean,
but you don't have to know the show to enjoy what we do, because we are entertainers. So Jill keeps it lively when she's doing her bit. We pass out drinks. Yeah. I'll make a drink for the audience, then they pass out the drinks to the audience.
This is shameless what he does. He does 2 of these on the cruise. It's like join Isaac and learn how to make a drink, whether it's, a pina colada or something like that. Well, here's the way it works. It's a 60-minute presentation, 50 minutes of him telling stories, 10 minutes of some poor schmuck of a bartender coming out and helping him make the drink, and then he passes out the booze. So you got to wait 50 minutes to get your drink, and it's but it works. I mean,
somehow it all works.
How big is the Vista Lounge, Jill? A couple hundred, right? At least?
Yeah.
Okay, so he sells this thing out.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting there and he's telling stories about his career and stuff.
And they're great stories.
Oh, they're wonderful stories. And then at the end, he gives him this little, chicken shit glass of booze.
Well, there's nothing to say you can't order a cocktail beforehand.
No.
That's
a little free game.
And you know who really loves this? And I really did not become aware of it until this last cruise that we did. The crew adores this.
They do.
Many of them went into what they're doing because they watched The Love Boat as kids.
Yeah.
They wanted to become It's like this guy. What was the name of the guy who did your bartending? Newton? Was that his name?
Yes, Newton from Africa.
He was from Zimbabwe or somewhere.
Yeah, Zimbabwe.
And this guy grew up watching the show and wanted to be a bartender on a ship. And now he is.
There's a captain, I can't remember which ship he's on now. I don't know if he's on Discovery or which ship, Heikki Lakonen, who became a captain because he watched the show as a little kid and he went into a naval academy and from childhood. It's amazing how many cruise directors, everybody. And
that's how they learn English. The guy that was the cruise director on our ship, his name is Giuseppe, learned English watching The Love Boat.
Because his teacher in schools, that was the assignment that she gave. It wasn't just him in his own time. The teacher said, you're going to learn English. I want you to watch this show called The Love Boat.
That's amazing. I love
Good.
that. So this must be like just 7 days of people sharing like amazing stories with you, just in terms of what the show meant to them.
Yes.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, we recorded one of our Q&As, and it will be one of our podcasts probably after the first of the year. So, and we brought our engineer with us, Andrew, and he also did little side interviews. Jill was talking to the captain. I spoke to they don't call them pursers anymore, Jeff. They call them hotel managers, HGMs, big time. And Ted had an interview with Newton, and
everything was filmed and recorded, and we're going to play it back.
So it's just part of the package now that we have with our podcast.
You're just a content making machine, you guys.
We are a contact making machine. That's right.
We should. I think it could be interesting if we do sort of a download of our impressions of how the whole thing went as an episode. That could be fun too, and talk about the behind the scenes stories, like when the woman, I couldn't get my corset off to go to the bathroom before Charo's show, and the woman came in.
Yeah.
When my friend had her hand,
he just drops this in conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. The woman, my friend, had her hand up in my pants trying to get my pants off so I could use the bathroom. And a woman at that particular moment decided that she wanted a hug and a picture.
Yeah. So a hug and a picture and a hand in the pants. I mean, what can be better than that?
You never know when you're going to get another chance.
Right. Well,
that's it. It's it. We're like unicorns.
Really, when we're on that thing, I mean, we're community property for 7 days. And that's part of the deal. I mean, it's not as though it's intrusive or anything. And Princess has gotten to the point now where they know how to manage these crowds, so that when you do the photo opportunities and stuff, it's a lot better than it used to be. But it's astonishing the number of people that are still, I mean, they're not fans, they're devotees.
Yeah.
It's almost a cult. I mean,
but it's lovely. They're so sweet. And the stories they tell are just amazing.
We were lucky. We weren't a drama. A drama would be a little darker.
Yeah.
But because we did comedy and jokes and things like that, I think
imagine what a reunion of Grey's Anatomy is like. You sit around talking with pictures of their operations,
Yeah.
It's so
funny.
My
gosh.
My favorite thing to do, and one of the things that I always do during my interview prep with my guests, is if they've been on the Love Boat, which a lot of them have, most of them have, I'll actually go watch the episodes, or sometimes they're super fans that'll, like Karen Grassel, I remember, like she was on, and someone did a super cut of just her scenes.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Yeah. Like a Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, like a Cliff Notes. But
we have to do that too, because sometimes we'll have a guest on and we want to refresh our memory about what their story was.
Yeah.
So we'll go on Paramount Plus. I got this from Fred. I didn't know where to find it. Fred, of course, knew. Paramount Plus, they got the whole series.
Yeah.
From day one to the last episode. And we go on and refresh ourselves so that when we talk to some of our guests, we know what their story was.
Right. That's how you get like some of those nuances that your memory just can't. You remember the broad strokes, but some of those little things.
We did the last interview that Loretta Swit ever gave. Of course, we didn't know it at the time, but she died not long thereafter. And
within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks. And we lost the interview, Jeff. We had a kind of a dust up with one of our engineers, and we couldn't get a hold of that interview for 6 or 9 months, right, Jill?
Yeah.
I mean,
like
forever. And then we finally found it, and it was terrific. And part of the fun of doing this is us remembering some of the stories that they tell when they come on the show. And we were a very welcoming operation. A lot of people like to come on our show because it was so much nicer than their show.
Yeah. The politics wasn't dark or anything on our show.
Yeah. And they were treated well, and they were paid well. And of course, if you got the added dividend of a cruise, then you were in Fat City. But most people had a very, very kind of satisfying time doing the show.
I remember Shirley Hemphill came on our show thinking she was going on a cruise.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, "Hey, Ted, when do we leave?"
Yeah.
Shirley, this is all in studio, this episode.
I got to tell you, I have to tell you that learning that was like finding out Santa's not real. Like that was like
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure.
Well, let's talk about Loretta for a second, because
Sure.
I had her on my show as well, and I listened to that episode where you guys talked to her.
The one with Bernie Kopell where she played the Russian commissar. Yeah.
Do you have more than one episode with Loretta?
Yeah, Loretta did 3. Yeah. No. I mean,
he means the podcast. He means the podcast.
No.
No. I mean the podcast. I listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
I listened to your podcast too, Fred. You were on.
Hey, that's why we're here, right?
Right.
That's why we listen to you.
The amazing thing about Loretta is just because you can hear it when she talks, is just the real passion and love. Like when you guys brought Bernie on for that episode and they were talking about stuff and she was reminiscing about the letter he wrote her, and
sure,
it was very, very touching. But those are the kind of things, that's what I love. That's what I love hearing, like those kind of things and those kind of stories. And it's so great that you were able to capture that.
Well, I'll tell you something that these two guys don't even know, because I was just up in New York during this Christmas show and I had dinner with this woman, Andrea Wallach, who was Loretta's best friend and who actually facilitated the podcast. And she told me, and I did not know this, something like 2 weeks or so before Loretta did the podcast, she and Andrea were walking down Amsterdam Avenue or somewhere, and Loretta fell on her face and got her face all up. It was really torn up. She still did the podcast. I mean, she insisted on doing it. And that's just who she was. I mean, it didn't matter, what the circumstances were, what the obstacles were in front of her. She was going to do it. And she was, she was terrific.
She did ask, is this on camera? And we said no.
No. But I mean, unlike this show, we don't ask our guests to go on screen because many of them, are not that crazy about doing it. So we defer to them on that.
When I interviewed Loretta, it was over the phone.
Sure.
And so it was like, and so I did get to meet her at a Comic-Con and in person. And so I have a Hot Lips autograph on my wall. Yeah. But the sweetest, nicest person, so talented, animal activist, such a great person.
As a matter of fact, I didn't know this either. Andrea gave me this book. Loretta was a watercolorist, and she has this huge book of watercolor animals that
she painted.
She would sell. And she also had her own brand of perfume. Did you know that, Jill?
No.
I've got Loretta. She had this, I guess it was a brand called Sweetheart.
Okay.
And the book was Sweetheart and the perfume was Sweetheart. And I've got a vial of that too. But Jeff, did you ever listen to the podcast we did with Jamie Farr?
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Okay, he's got some wonderful stories about Loretta as well. And they were fast friends.
Yeah, they were good pals.
Yeah, when I went to the Comic-Con, it was her and Jamie Farr because they love to do that together.
No, they did. Yeah. And they were planning to do it. Even he spoke to her the night before she died. And of course, it came as a tremendous surprise to everybody. But yeah, they were planning to do a Comic-Con from that phone call.
I will say that is the wonderful thing about this podcast that we're doing is and thank God Charlie had the intuition to say this is a good thing that people might actually be interested in, is there's just so many great stories behind the scenes that are just gems, little gems that you learn. And it makes the guest stars that you all grew up watching seem so much more human. And it's really fun. I mean, there are some great stories.
Yeah, like Morgan Fairchild being kidnapped on Amsterdam Avenue by two guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's ever been on your show or not, but that's a great story that she tells. And
they ultimately let her go.
They did. Well, she essentially she made them laugh so much that they let her go.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, she has a podcast now too. Everyone's got a podcast.
It's called Two Bitches from Texas, and we're gonna do an exchange with her. We're gonna trade podcasts. I guess
we're gonna do a neighborhood visit.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fun. That's cool.
When
I was listening to the Loretta episode, which was released in November, as we mentioned, she sadly passed away in May. When did you guys start planning this and start recording stuff? And how many do you have in the bank?
Well, we started up this summer, right? Oh, no, it had to be May because we did Loretta. Actually, it was last year. No, we started in December.
Because it was cold in New York. I remember because that's why she slipped.
And so we did some then. And then, as I say, we had this kind of strange incident with our engineer and we had to stop production for a long time and then started up again. Since then, we've got a show with Juliet Mills we haven't presented yet. We've got 2 shows with Jimmy Walker. Whether we make it into 1 or 2, we don't know. Linda Pearl has done the show. We were going to do Lydia Cornell, but Gosh, something happened.
I wonder
Technical
what happened.
difficulties.
I wonder what happened there.
And then we have 2 or 3 that we did on the ship that were, just talking to fans and stuff. But
Q&A.
we're going to keep going until they throw us off the air, Jeff. I mean, how long have you been doing your show?
I just crossed 5 years.
Okay, my gosh.
Wow, wonderful.
Nice.
And you got to learn how to do this. I mean, we're trying to get people to subscribe to the show on YouTube, and you build your base that way. And so, we're learning all this stuff. But the interesting thing that Jill pointed out, my son Charlie grew up on the Love Boat, and so did my oldest daughter Mariah. And Love Boat now has become an extended family because my kids grew up on the show. My son is producing this show. My daughter Mariah is in the national tour of Suffs. Everybody in this cast went to see her. I mean, Ted went to San Diego. Jill went in Tempe, Arizona. Bernie and I saw her in Los Angeles. And Cindy Tweese saw her in Seattle. And it's one of these things that you couldn't possibly have imagined when we were starting out. But now it's
Good thing
like
it was a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a family gathering.
Yeah.
I think I was Gregory Harrison I was talking to.
Oh, yeah.
He
Randy Oakes and Gregory.
Yes.
Yeah, we ought to have them both on because they're one of the Love Boat couples that they didn't meet on the Love Boat, but they both did the show. Gregory and my daughter did a show together. So,
Well,
I mean,
I don't think he did officially the show. I think what the story he told me was that they would take a break and find out when you guys were shooting the bikini scenes at the pool, and he would go hang out. Randy might have been, I think, was on the Love Boat, but
Randy was on.
No, Gregory was on the show.
Was he?
He did the show.
Okay.
No, I'm sure of that because I think he had an episode with Cindy Tweese. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'll tell you who's got great Love Boat stories is Heather Thomas. She was on the Japan episode.
Yeah.
Did you guys love it? I mean, because like we said a few minutes ago, you weren't actually cruising, but then sometimes you were. Sometimes you were in these big extravagant.
And I directed Heather on Fall Guy. Because of Lee Majors.
Who also did the Love Boat in China.
Yeah.
That's how he got the gig.
He invited me to come on and be a director on Fall Guy. And Heather was a sweetheart. She was really wonderful.
It's funny because these days when you do a show, so much of it is CGI and computer graphic imagery and things that are done in a lab or against a green screen. And I've actually done shows more recently where actors, younger actors say, "You didn't really go to all those places, did you?" And I said, "Yeah, we really had to because we didn't have the technology, the virtual capabilities of just shooting it, in a green screen. And yeah, it was tough, man. I mean, I had to go to the Mediterranean and China. Wow." And it's almost as if they can't conceive of it because they don't get to go anywhere.
Right.
It's an amazing job perk. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jill, what was it like kind of joining the cast at 11? Like you come in, and then you become a regular on the show. I was, Captain Stubing's daughter. These guys, they all treat you well because you would have been a lot younger than everybody.
Yeah, it could have gone such a different way than it went. I was so lucky. First of all, they're just great humans, and they were wonderful and welcoming to me. And, if I had been an adult and had joined, I think I would have understood how daunting that can be to mess with the chemistry that's already perfect as it is. But they were so caring and fraternal and maternal and loving. And, it's just always been that way with them. They taught me every bad word joke.
That's true.
And not just in English.
No, I'm fluent in so many languages, but also, they taught me how to do comedy. They taught me timing. They taught me how to behave on a set. They taught me what being a professional actor was. So that was my university, for better or worse, it was.
And now, I don't know if Ted told you this before the broadcast, but we're just in New York together this summer doing Ted's play. Jill and I were in it, and Ted, of course, had written it and directed it. And Jill, Ted, and I also did I'm Not Rappaport at the Encore Musical Theater in Dexter, Michigan. So it's the ensemble that never dissembles. We still work together on the podcast and do other shows.
It's so funny. I've told this before. Theater is my first love and my greatest love. but no matter how many times I do any production, I don't care if it's me just going out and singing, if it's me doing a straight play, if it's a 5-hander, a 2-hander, whatever it is, I always am backstage opening night going, what the hell did I say yes to? Every time.
I remember that. I remember that moment in Ted's show.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, except the only time that really hasn't happened to any degree is when I'm working with these guys, because it's the one thing I know in my heart and soul since I'm 11 years old, that they have my back, and that whatever would happen off stage or on stage, they are my trust fall.
Wonderful reviews when we did the play off Broadway in New York. Fred and Jill both got wonderful reviews.
And do you know that Derek Emerson Powell was nominated for an award?
Yeah, for Broadway World.
He was nominated for a Broadway World Award, yeah.
Really? Oh,
this is a kid that Ted and I met when we were in Syracuse, and we talked him into going. He was a physical therapist living in Syracuse.
And we were doing, what was the play we were doing?
Inherit the Wind.
Inherit the Wind.
Ted was directing, I was in it, and this kid was playing Bertram Cates. And I'd known him in some other shows, and he was like 32, 33. And he said, guys, should I go to New York? I really want to be an actor. He was a successful physical therapist, but it wasn't what
he was successful in local Syracuse theater.
Yeah. And so we took him out for drinks and said, look, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. You either do it or you don't, and you find out or you don't. And he went down to New York and started up. And then the next thing you know, Ted calls him and asks him to be in this play. And he's in the play. And now he's in Florida.
Wonderful work.
I think he's in Florida doing some show right now. But anyway, so we got him into the business. So we felt kind of paternalistic towards this kid. And he's the only one that got an award. I wish we'd never met him.
Well, you gave him the Yoda speech. There is no try.
Yeah,
that's right.
Only do.
That's right.
That's
But you know, when we were, Ted and I were going to do I'm Not Rappaport in Michigan in Encore, and we did not have our woman. We lost the woman that we were going to have, or we actually never could get her. So I said, well, why not Jill? And Ted said, why not? So I called her up, and she's on a treadmill with her trainer. She says yes before I even tell her what the show was. And I should have said, well, it's a porn movie, and you're going to be in the center of it. But
Fred, please.
Right. Oh, okay.
She's
maybe that
just a kid.
Maybe, yeah. Right now.
Listen, Ted.
Anyway, but she said yes before she even knew what it was, and she was wonderful in the show. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Speaking of being wonderful, Jill, I know this isn't Love Boat, but I do want to say that one of my favorite scenes of anything ever is your scene in Airplane. I think it is possibly the funniest thing ever. And I love that Joyce Bulifant is your mom in that, and she was married to Gavin in
Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah,
it's 6 degrees of separation, or 2, as a matter of fact. Yeah, that was a fun thing to do.
That, I guess, technically makes you stepsisters with Helen Hunt, who was their kid.
Well, and what's funny about that is Helen Hunt was in my first TV series I did with Aaron Spelling called Friends.
Really?
Yes, she was.
And Helen Hunt's mom took all my 8x10 glossies, headshots.
And Helen Hunt's father, Gordon Hunt, was, I think, on Love Boat, but at the very least, he was an acting coach.
Yes. And he went into directing.
Yeah.
Gordon Hunt. Yeah.
I'm learning things myself I didn't know.
Yeah, 6 degrees. There you go.
And Kevin Bacon's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And Kevin Bacon.
Funny. Jill, the Airplane thing was kind of going by IMDb, so I don't know the right when you filmed it versus when you were on the Love Boat, because I know it was released a couple years into the Love Boat. What was the combination of those two things? Because that was like one of the biggest comedies ever, and you're on one of the biggest shows ever. That must have been a hell of a time for 11-year-old, 12-year-old.
Well, first of all, when you're working like that, and then again, you're also a child, you're in the kind of a bubble, at least back then, because there was no social media. So I didn't know. It was just, I think this is a successful thing, whatever, but I'm going to the set tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So I'll do that. And then I'll go home and go to school and go to bed and wake up the next day. It's not like you sit on the edge of your bed and look at all the social media and say, my, what a life I'm leading. You're just working. It never occurred to me to be able to look at that macro view.
But it is rare to actually have two classics in your repertoire. I mean, because that movie is a classic. Clearly, our show is a classic because it hasn't been off the air for 50 years. And that doesn't happen to everybody. As a matter of fact, it doesn't happen to almost anybody.
Well, it's a very cool thing. It's a very cool thing.
Very awesome. Do you guys like have what's your favorite storyline? Like, I'm sure each one of you has a different one, but like, do you guys have, it could be a storyline that you're in or one.
Well, let me ask you something, Jeff. Behind you, is that a picture of Walter Koenig? Because if it is, I have a Walter Koenig story for you.
It is Walter Koenig, yes.
From Star Trek?
Yes.
Yes. So listen, Tweez and I did Taming of the Shrew in Reno Little Theater. And I bumped into Walter after I had done it. And the Reno Little Theater owed him some money. And he said, "Hey, Ted, when you did Reno Little Theater, did you get paid?" I said, "No, I didn't get paid, but Tweez got paid because the guy that was producing the show, we ran for one night. We did opening night, Jeff. I was Petruchio. Tweez was Kate. We did one night, and the next night we closed because the producer was arrested for embezzling the money to open the show in Reno. They arrested this guy and put him in jail. And so they said, "We've got enough to pay one actor." I said, "Well, pay Tweez because, I talked her into coming up here and doing this." And so they had to pay me. I told Walter, "Listen, they paid me over the next 3 years, and I was in the middle of the 3 years, like $100 a week or $100 a month." And he hadn't got paid. I said, "Just go back and tell him you don't want it all in a lump sum. You want him to pay you, gradually, and you'll get your money." But he had done a play at the theater just prior to our going in.
I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. Yeah.
My favorite Walter Koenig trivia is that he wrote for Land of the Lost, or he created like one of the characters on Land of the Lost. Like,
no kidding.
Wow.
Really? Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah.
It wasn't one of the Sleazaks.
He invented the the Sleazak that was like the all wise one.
Yes.
He invented that. Enoch, I think his name
was.
Oh my
God.
Like
that's
amazing. That character. Yeah.
That's fun.
Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition. Was that show?
Yeah. Can you see that raft right there? I mean, you can barely see it. The three of them were at
Marshall, Will, and Holly.
Chaka
on a routine. Yeah, Chaka.
Phil, who was Chaka.
Not Chaka Khan, just Chaka.
And then and then they bring a raft, and you can take a picture with them in the raft. Oh, that was like the greatest moment of.
That's so cool.
So
that wasn't Sid and Marty Krofft, was it?
But
was
yes,
it Sid and Marty Krofft?
Yeah, that was.
So them, like Lidsville and HR Puff and stuff.
HR Puff and stuff.
Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah,
that's right.
Mama Cass.
Yeah, Land of the Lost. The original Land of the Lost was I think their longest running show because there was 3 seasons. Wesley, you were Kathy Coleman. That's it. And Philip Haley. That's who was in the raft with me. So it was like
My other Star Trek trivia is I dated Nichelle Nichols.
You did?
In between marriages.
Of course you did.
I dated
you rock star.
I took her to a movie premiere, and I thought I was going to be the deal there, and she had a boyfriend at home, and she introduced me to the boyfriend. He didn't go. He couldn't go. So I went in his place, not knowing that she had a boyfriend. That was my other trivia.
Okay, I have one, seeing as how we're going to do a Star Trek riff right now. And I don't think I've told you guys this.
No.
I have only one kind of 6 degrees of separation Star Trek story. When I was in college, I wrote this play, this musical. I was in a thing at Harvard called the Hasty Pudding thing. And it was a drag show. It still is a drag show. So I wrote this show, and we needed a choreographer, and they got this woman who was studying either at the Boston Conservatory or somewhere like that, and her name was Cheryl McFadden, and she was our choreographer. Later on, I learned she had changed her name to Gates McFadden.
No,
really? And was on Star Trek.
Yeah,
the New Generation.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a very cool one. I don't have any Star Trek stories.
I saw Gates
Wah, wah.
McFadden at the LA Actors Theater. I taught one summer, and Gates was one of the other teachers.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I think she does
Yeah.
teach. I haven't kept in touch with her,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I just
yeah.
I was kind of shocked when I said, wait a minute, I saw the credits, I said, wait a minute, that's not Gates McFadden, that's Cheryl McFadden.
McFadden,
Obviously,
yeah.
anyway.
That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. Jill had Allison Arngrim on the show the first time. We talked about you guys were, I mean, I know you were in a million episodes, but like her episode was tied in a lot with her character. Her and you were, we talked a lot about that. She's a big fan of yours. So.
Well, she's a sweetheart. She is a lovely human being. We had fun. She is not at all Nellie Olson.
Yeah, she was like a dark character, right?
Yeah, she played basically a young child bratty star who treated me like crap. And that was kind of the whole, and I was a huge fan. So it was a really fun episode. It was a really fun episode.
Mean Girls on a Buckboard is what that was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to have her on our podcast because she loves to tell the story how she got that part. She got it because I recommended her.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were doing the script, and I said, "Well, God, you need to have Allison Arngrim do that part," and that's how she got it. So she's always just like, "I'm so happy that you recommended me," and so anyway.
Yeah, that's good, Jill. So we're Jeff. We're finding more out about each other than when we do our own podcast.
We're gonna make this an episode of our show.
I love
Yeah.
it. We could do it. We could do a swap. The other person you should have on that had a great, I kind of made fun of him a little bit about this, was Larry Wilcox, because the mustache that that they just pasted on him.
Yeah. Larry Wilcox got me into the autograph shows. This guy called me up and he said, "Hey, I want to, do an autograph show and people want you to come out. Would you come?" I said, "No, I'm not doing that." And he said, "Well, listen, can I have Larry Wilcox call you and just talk to you about what it is? Because he's done one." And I said, yeah, sure. So Larry calls me and says, "Hey, Ted, you should do this." I said, I did one. He said, "I already did one and I didn't like it." He said, "When did you do it?" I said, "About 15 years ago." And so he says, "Well, how much did they pay you for an autograph?" I said, $5. He says, "Well, Ted, it's changed." So he told me what the price was for an autograph. And if they took a picture, it was even more. And so I said, "You know what, Larry, maybe you're right. Maybe I should try this again." And it was, I made a goodly sum, let's just say. But that was because of Larry. Larry called me up and said, "You should try this, do this."
I think Jill has to take off.
Vamonos.
I do, actually.
You do?
Yeah, I got a doctor's appointment with the love of my life. So,
Jill, thank you so much. It was an honor. It was a pleasure.
oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. And you gentlemen, don't cause trouble.
Now you tell us.
Yeah. Why should today be unlike any other day?
Yeah.
Love
Really.
you guys. Happy holidays.
Okay. See you
Bye-bye.
later, babe.
Oh God, I thought she'd never leave.
But yeah, on the boats, when you guys do the cruises, do they have to pay you extra to get photos in that, or is that all?
No, it's part of it.
package?
It's, well, as Jill was pointing out, there are two tiers. There's the regular Love Boat fans, and we do large photo sessions with them and Q&As. And then recently they've started this VIP package, which for another, I think, couple $100, you get dinner with the cast, and you get a cocktail party with the cast, and you get kind of priority seating in the theater and first in line for the photos. And to some people, that's a big deal. I mean, the first year we did it, they had 100 people. Second year, this year, they had 200 people. So that's working out. But no, we do not charge by the photograph the way they do at a lot of the
autograph show. No, it's all in the same package, Jeff.
Yeah.
So if you come on, you've got that package deal, then everything is inclusive.
And there are people who have done 3 of these already. I mean, there are a couple of women from Wisconsin and they make all of this swag for us, little hats. And my youngest daughter, Monica, was with us the first time. And whenever we see them on the cruise, they always have something for her. That was 2 years ago. So it's an extended family kind of experience. It really is.
But Ted's right. It's a gold mine. And especially if you guys go to the Comic-Cons together.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's Ted signing for an autograph and say Ted getting that plus an individual photo. But then people sign up, say, oh, we're going to take a picture with Ted, Fred, and Jill. And then they pay $150 just for that photo.
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy.
Cash money, buddy.
Cash money.
Yeah.
Oh, I had like a bunch of trivia. I was going to run by you guys, see if you guys knew, but Jill was the trivia master. She would have known.
Jill was a trivia master, but we created the questions.
Oh, you created the question.
We
give us a couple, Jeff.
Right, I'll give you a couple of questions.
Where your head is.
Who is the only member of Gilligan's Island not to appear on the show?
Oh,
Tina Louise.
Russell Johnson.
Russell Johnson. That is correct.
Russell, look at you, Fred.
The professor. All right, I'll give you a softball one for you.
Okay.
Captain Steubing eventually got married to whom?
Oh, that's Marion Ross. We all know that one.
I know.
Who was his first wife? Oh, he stumbles.
Ooh,
that was one of our first episodes, Jeff.
Yes, his ex-wife was on your very first episode.
Thou dost not know?
I don't know.
No, no Googling now. I mean, you probably got equipment at your ready. Bonnie Franklin.
Oh, Bonnie Franklin. Okay.
Bonnie Franklin.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
She said she could never, there was a line in the dialogue where they're kind of talking about their marriage. And she said, I just could never adjust to being called Stacy Steubing. So, she did 2 shows. She came back with another husband, I think, that was not as good as Gavin. All right, keep going. Let's see.
All right, okay. So, all right, you guys, as you know, there were 3 pilots for the Love Boat.
Yes.
And so the original pilot,
we know that.
2-part question. One,
which
who was the captain?
Ted Hamilton.
Ted Hamilton.
Okay, Ted Hamilton. And at least according to People Magazine article, why was he fired?
Oh, well, he wasn't funny.
The answer is, according to the headline of People Magazine, he was too sexy and they felt he would be too distracting to the storylines.
Oh man! On the Love Boat, he was too sexy.
Oh, but
so who was the second? Who was the second captain?
I don't know. I thought Gavin took over in the second.
No. The only 3 guys on the second pilot were Ted and me and Bernie.
Yeah.
Okay. The captain was Quinn Rediker.
All right, excellent.
Who was the writer on what was the war movie? Fred. He did a thing with De Niro and all those guys. What's that war movie? Deer Hunter. He was one of the writers on the Deer Hunter. He was a soap opera actor.
But going back to Ted Hamilton, that's an interesting point. I didn't know that. But you know who the original doctor in that first pilot was?
I know.
All right. It was Dickie Van Patten.
Dick Van Patten.
And at that point, I don't think they had decided that Doc was going to be the Lothario, the romance.
No, I don't think he was.
So, I mean, had they stayed with Ted Hamilton, he probably would have gotten all those roles.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Now, the real tough questions. Okay, now, you may have those answers. Who were the first 2 cruise directors on those pilots?
Oh.
Dum, 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 dum.
I don't remember the first one, Fred. I remember the second one.
First one was a woman named Terry O'Mara, who none of us worked with because we weren't on that show.
And she did Donald Duck. Remember that?
She did.
Do you remember? She did an impersonation where she talked like Donald Duck on the show, and you and I.
No. You're getting ahead of yourself, man. Terry O'Mara was on the first pilot. We weren't in it.
No, that's what I'm saying. We were watching the first pilot.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
And she went into a Donald Duck impersonation, and we looked at each other like, what the hell is that?
This thing will never go.
Yeah, who wrote that?
And the second cruise director was the hand model, remember?
Yeah, she was a New York stage actress, and she kept reminding everybody.
That's what she wanted us to think. Her name was Diane Stillwell.
Diane Stillwell.
And she
complained the whole time. They weren't bringing her back.
No.
She just hated television.
Yeah. Well, there are people like that who come out of New York, but I always think that's kind of an apologetic mechanism to. I mean, come on. Nobody goes into this business to become anonymous, and if you get a break like this and you're not grateful, then you've only yourself to blame.
Well, she wanted to do Equus, though.
Okay. Well, maybe she did. Maybe she got to do that.
Maybe she ended up doing Equus.
Yeah. In Annapolis or somewhere.
All right. Here's another one. This one's for Ted, though, because I assume, Fred, you're going to know this one.
I'm saying
Ted, who played Gopher's mom on the show?
Oh, listen, every time I talk to Fred, he's telling me who played his mom. And he has this story about his daughter, taking his daughter to see this particular Broadway actress, and the daughter being enamored of Ethel Merman. Am I right, Jeff?
I know, Fred, is he?
Of course he's right.
Of course he is.
Did I tell you that story? When I did your show, do you remember that story
I
I
think
told
you
you about
talked
Ethel
about
Merman?
Ethel,
Yeah. All right. So you got another one?
All right, I'll go a little hardcore because you were a lot of times like it. Sometimes the deep trivia is not always good, but you're pulling out some deep stuff.
Yeah, this is Kinderspiel you're giving us.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know. Right? Okay, what was the show was based on a tell-all book by a cruise director. Points for the name of the cruise director and or the name of the book.
Oh,
cruise director was Geraldine Saunders.
And it was called The Love Boats with an S.
Yes.
You guys know your stuff.
Well, hey, you know, we have to answer these questions at our Q&As.
Yeah.
All right, here's a tough one. Maybe this one's tougher. Which of these celebrities never guested on The Love Boat? Milton Berle, Sid Caesar, Andy Griffith, or Art Carney?
Art Carney.
Art Carney.
Art Carney never did the show.
Milton Berle did the show a number of times.
Yeah, he did it 4 or 5 times. Sid Caesar did it once. Andy Griffith did it once, but Art Carney never.
Are we
did.
right, Jeff?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't have a ding. I'll put a ding in. I'll put that in post.
Yeah. Put that in post.
All right. Here's one. I got one for you. See if you know this one. What famous mother and son did The Love Boat, but not in the same episode?
Ooh, I know who that is.
I don't know.
Was the mother a Broadway actress?
She was.
Was the son played a Texan character on television?
You know what? It happened twice. You're absolutely right. I was thinking of somebody else, but you're absolutely right. Do you have either one of those, Jeff?
I do not know. Which one is it?
All right. I'm thinking of Helen Hayes and James MacArthur, and Ted is thinking of
Mary Martin and Dallas. What's
Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman.
Okay. See,
wow, we discovered some stuff for ourselves here.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
All right, I have another one.
Okay, let's go.
Charo. This is a Charo question.
All right.
This is
we just saw Charo was just on our cruise with us. She did a concert. Yeah. You know what a brilliant classical guitarist she is.
I did not know that.
You didn't? She's one of the foremost classical guitarists in the world.
Yeah. Segovia.
She practices 4 hours a day, and she's our age.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm sure you'll know the only season she did not appear on The Love Boat.
Ooh, shame on you. Okay, and I hand it over to Fred. Go, Fred.
It was the last one because I wasn't on it either.
Nope. That's season 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stumped us. Wow.
Now, do you know why she appeared every season?
Probably because she was awesome.
No, she had a deal with ABC TV, and they were developing a show for her. And when each year that they didn't come up with the show, the way for them to fulfill her contract was to put her on our show.
But she liked doing the show. It wasn't like that was a chore for her. Okay, here's one for you, Jeff, seeing as how you brought up Charo. Charo is normally believed to be that guest star, other than a regular, which does not include Marion Ross, who was a regular in the last season, who did more episodes as a guest star than anybody else. The answer is not correct. Who is the guest star?
It is a woman.
It is a woman. Who was that woman?
Who did the most guest stars?
Who did the most guest stars?
Oh, that is not Marion Ross.
No, Marion is disqualified because she was a regular in the final season.
Right. I do not know.
Juliet Mills. Juliet, we had to figure this out because Juliet did one of our podcasts, and I awarded her the Distinguished Service Cross for doing more Love Boats than anybody else.
Yeah.
Who's the only crew member of the Love Boat to go on the Love Boat as a passenger?
Oh, I have an idea.
Who's the only
Fred
to go on the Love Boat as a passenger?
Yeah, one of the regulars
on the show as the character went on the boat.
I remember
as a passenger,
but not as the character.
No, I believe as the character.
No, as the character, there was somebody that came on the cruise.
It was passenger. Isaac. We're taking too long. It was dead as Isaac. So all right.
That's when I became head bartender.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I saved the boat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me if this is true. I found this. It said Isaac was seen among the ship's crew greeting passengers as they embarked. It was discovered by producers, though, that only ranked maritime officers were allowed to perform such duties, and that being a bartender, Isaac was a civilian employee. So ultimately, the producers came up with a backstory for Isaac, giving him an honorary rank as a reward for saving lives of passengers during a shipboard emergency to justify.
Well, this was the whole thing, Jeff.
You've touched a very sensitive topic.
Yeah,
here,
you've
my
touched
friend.
a very sensitive nerve here.
I'm sorry.
That
no, that's all right. We tell the story.
The producer did not. He wrote all of the white characters in the opening and in the closing, and refused to add my character. And of course, when you become a writer, you can come up with a reason.
Sure.
But this guy didn't want to do it. And so this whole thing was the product of a meeting that we had with Aaron Spelling, in which I said, hey, man, you got all of the white characters and not me. And I want parity, I want to be with the rest of the guys. And so Aaron okayed that. And then they made me, that's how I became an honorary guy, head bartender. All made up, it's all made up. I had a bartender when we did the original pilot. The bartender came to me and said, hey, you got a mustache, and when you're in food services, you can't have any hair on your face. He said, this isn't real. And I said, listen, if I shave off my mustache, I look like I'm a teenager. So I'm not shaving off my mustache. And how many, if you want to talk about reality, how many black bartenders you got on this boat? 0.
Yeah, so but how many of them have mustaches now?
Yeah. And then after the first or second year, all of the bartenders had mustaches because fans got on and they gave better tips to the bartenders that had mustaches.
Yeah. So now the women have mustaches too. I mean, they make the money.
You got it.
That's it.
I saw that Terry Hatcher was on the Love Boat, and she was part of the Love Boat Mermaids.
Yes, she was one of the dancers.
This was okay. My memory faded on the Love Boat Mermaids, but this was in season 9 and season 10. Thing. So, and this was Fred. The reason you left? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not the reason I left.
That's a good joke, Jeff.
But the charges were dropped. Okay.
Yeah.
But did you guys have any guest stars that you wished had been on, like that you were like, oh, we're trying to get, but just anyone? I know you had like,
listen,
you had like 1,000.
One of my good friends married Aretha Franklin, and Aretha wanted to do the Love Boat, and the producers never put her on. And then I hung out one day with Chaka Khan, and I went back to the producers and I said, Chaka Khan wants to do a Love Boat. And they never put her on, so those are my regrets, is that, could you imagine the Queen of Soul on the Love Boat? I mean, and she wanted to be on.
Yeah, that was amazing. Detroit's own. Yeah, I thought, of course. I love her.
Yeah.
What about you, Fred?
What about you, Freddie?
Well, somebody I wanted to be on the Love Boat. Well,
someone you wish you could act with on the Love Boat.
The one person I wish I'd met that I never met, and this is whether I was on the Love Boat or not, the one, and I probably would have been too intimidated to do anything other than just stand in awe, was Jackie Gleason. To me, he is the greatest comedian that's ever been created, and television would look entirely different without him. I never knew Jackie Gleason. Audrey Meadows used to do the show, and she had wonderful stories about Gleason and he and Art Carney and
Joyce Randolph.
Yeah, and the show that they did, and so that indirectly, that's how I knew about Jackie Gleason. He was the only person, celebrity actor, star that I was in such awe of that I wish I'd at least been near him at some point, because he was.
What about Raymond Burr?
Well, Raymond Burr did the show, man.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you
you weren't intimidated by Raymond Burr.
Well, how could you?
And we had every reason to be intimidated because he put his arms around us and swallowed us up. Remember that?
Yeah. But I also remember this, and I might have told you this on the show, what I did with you, Jeff. Raymond Burr, because of course he'd been Perry Mason for so long and had to learn these long closing speeches and these orations that Perry would give, used cue cards exclusively. Okay, and that did not change from Perry Mason to Ironside to Love Boat. So he comes on the show. Now, this is before teleprompters were really as prevalent as they are now.
Yeah.
if you wanted to work with Raymond Burr and you wanted to work off camera, they're shooting Raymond Burr's close up and you're standing next to the camera doing the dialogue. What they did was do these life-size cue cards where they would write the dialogue all up and down and then cut 2 eye holes in the top so you could see him and he could see you. And that's how you did your off camera with Raymond Burr.
That's funny.
And you're sitting there peeking out from behind this enormous cue card while he's reading it. I kept thinking to myself, how can this guy do this without cracking up? Because it looks so silly. But then, of course, he's Raymond Burr and I wasn't. So, I mean, I guess that answers that question.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's talk about the podcast again, just in terms, just so we can.
Well, let me just say one thing about the podcast. Of course, we've been on since November, and we're on, what they always say. You can find us wherever you look for your favorite podcast. So Spotify and Apple and YouTube. And we also have our own website, theloveboatpodcast.com, which allows you to send us a message if you want to. If you go to YouTube, please subscribe because, and you probably know this, Jeff, they tier subscriptions so that if you get a certain level of subscriptions, you kind of pass a certain hurdle. And I think we've got about 240 on Love Boat Podcast right now, and we're hoping to get to 300. We've got Jimmy Walker in the can. We've got Juliette Mills in the can. We've got Linda Pearl in the can. We're going to do Lydia Cornell. We've got Ted McGinley coming up in February and a bunch of others. And it's been a delight to do. Tons of fun. And just reconnecting with some of these people is tremendous fun. I mean, the thing we did with Morgan Fairchild, she is one of the brightest women I've ever met in my life. I mean, she could have been a neurosurgeon and decided instead to do Dallas. Why she made
was
that
in Bonnie and Clyde, or she worked on Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, that's how she started in the business. I mean, so she's fascinating.
Yeah, she is.
And Linda Pearl is no slouch either. I mean, she's a fascinating person as well. I mean, just to kind of have those conversations and let them let their hair down and talk a little bit about it. And of course, Jimmy Walker goes on forever. I mean, the story he tells about getting on Good Times and not even knowing he was on Good Times.
Yeah.
That's worth the price of admission.
He was a stand-up, and he thought that's what he was going to be doing.
Yeah, he thought he was going to open the show. Thought he was going to warm up the show.
And it turns out he was a character in the story.
Yeah.
Who you guys should get on the show, who was on the boat 3 or 4 times, and on the episode with Jimmy Walker, Thelma Hopkins.
Oh, Thelma,
sure,
sweetheart.
Sure. Yeah.
She's the sweetheart. Yeah.
She was just on the podcast. She just started a Family Matters rewatch podcast as well. So I'm sure.
Okay.
She'd be down for all that.
Yeah.
I think we didn't do the episode, but we are going to do the episode. Lydia Cornell was telling us I think she's trying to get a reboot of Too Close for Comfort.
Oh, really? Well, what are they going to do about Ted?
They're not going to talk about him, I guess. It'll be the kids,
Oh, I see.
Lydia is amazing. She is amazing.
Yeah, she
talked very fondly about the Love Boat.
Yeah, no, she's great fun, and she also she loves to tell this story about how she just kicked my ass on Password, and I considered myself an Olympic athlete on Password.
No,
and she just came in and blew me out of the water. I mean, it was just really.
I can't believe you.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it when she's on our show, but it was
okay.
It was the one humiliation that I don't mind remembering because it was Lydia Cornell,
He's blonde. What's there not to like, huh?
That's what I love about your podcast, and that you guys are doing the podcast, and it's you guys doing it. And it seems like you bring in, can I call her Cindy? And Bernie, Acacia, is like, when I talk to people and I talk to them about the Love Boat, it's such a warm memory that they have. It's the warm and loving memory that they have when they talk about the show, which is why I always bring it up, because people love talking about their experience on the Love Boat. So to get like an even extended version of that with you guys on your show.
It's exactly that. And it was that imprimatur, that standard was really insisted on by Gavin.
Yeah, I was just
from the get-go.
It came from the head down. Gavin was the head, and he insisted on a certain kind of protocol for all of us regulars.
Yeah. He said guest means guest, which means they are treated well and with courtesy and deference. And that's what people remember, particularly people like Loretta. Loretta was just one studio away from us when we were at the Fox.
One sound stage.
We had Jamie, Bill Christopher, Loretta, Gary Berghoff. Larry
take your
Linville did.
asshole pills. You're going to have to take your asshole pills. Remember that, Fred?
Yes, yeah. Larry Linville did the show. I mean, the only two guys that didn't do the show were Rain Rogers and Mike Farrell didn't do it either. But Harry Morgan did it.
Mike didn't do it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay.
Shelley did it. Shelley Fabrez did the show.
Yeah, Shelley.
But yeah.
David Hasselhoff fell in love with Shelley. Do you remember that, Fred?
I remember
David. That was his love interest on the show. And then it started happening in real life.
I never even knew that.
Yeah, David and Shelley said, "Look, kid, relax." And he's saying, "Well, you're so beautiful."
But she was married to Mike Farrell at the time.
No, she wasn't.
Oh,
she wasn't. It was before the marriage.
Okay.
It was before the marriage, and so, but she had to, put her arm up and say, "Hey, this is just television," But he really he was enamored of Shelley. Well, she was gorgeous. She was absolutely gorgeous.
Do you guys have a pop culture Love Boat favorite moment? I could qualify like you guys all going on Martin as your characters as an example, or just I don't even know if like the Family Guy did something or something like something where there's just some random thing that popped up in pop culture that you're aware of that regarding the Love Boat that is something that you remember that was pretty cool.
I played a head on a cartoon sci-fi thing.
Futurama?
Huh?
Was it Futurama?
Futurama. They had the Isaac head, and it wasn't my voice. And I'm pissed off about that because, that's a paycheck I could have had in residuals.
Oh, well, yeah.
But Futurama did a thing where my Isaac head was in an episode. But later on, what's the guy's name that does the cartoon guy? That's
Seth MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane did one about Cleveland, the character Cleveland, and they let me appear on that one. So they did use my voice. So those are the two for me, but they're both cartoons,
I don't know if this actually qualifies under your description, but when I was first elected to Congress, my first term, I was in Washington. I was very mindful of the fact that I didn't want people to think I got here because I was gopher on the Love Boat. I wanted them to think that I was here because I had worked hard and had earned my stripes and everything. So I did not go to any Washington parties or gatherings for the first several months I was there, and I scrupulously went home every weekend. I'm in my office and I get an invitation to go to a presidential dinner. And
who was president at the time?
Reagan. Reagan was president.
Okay. All right.
And I was invited to come down and these are big events and they're in the East Room and they big soiree and everything. I said, no, I'm not going down to the White House. No, I'm going to go home. I'll be with farmers. The night of the party, I'm in my office. It's about an hour before the thing was going to kick off, and I got a call from the White House social office. And the social secretary says, Congressman, we noticed that you declined the invitation to the dinner. I said, yes, I did. She said, well, will you reconsider? I said, well, why would I do that? She said, because you're sitting next to the First Lady. Woo! Nancy Reagan was a huge fan of the show.
No.
And so I said, awesome. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I just zoomed down there, went right through the receiving line and spent the whole evening talking to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fred, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, story. I never told you that. Yeah.
No, it was, man. It was a good story.
Yeah. Well, Reagan was show business.
Yeah.
Reagan knew the connection between politics and show business very early on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure he did. Interesting.
So anyway, I don't know if that qualifies as pop culture, but it was pretty meaningful to me.
Yeah. And Fred, I gotta tell you, one of my favorite moments on my podcast was something I had actually said to you, and it was with all due respect to our conversation, Ted, but when I was talking with Fred and I was listing off bills that he had sponsored.
Yes.
And I wrote I'm rattling off one after another, and then I go, and in 1992, you made it illegal to dismantle Rubik's cubes and put them back together and say that you did it yourself.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, and I'm like, Fred, I made that up. And he's like, oh, I sponsor him. I didn't read everyone.
Hey, who does? I had an auto pen. Does that mean I was wrong? Come on.
That's pretty good. Jeff, that's very good, Jeff. Very good. Yeah.
That's right. No, you caught me, man.
Well, on that note.
Yes. On that note, my last Love Boat story is when I was trying to get Bernie on the show, and my phone rings, and the caller ID says Bernie Copel, and I'm like, "Hello, hey Jeff, it's Bernie." I'm like, "Here, you want to be on the show?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I didn't have any idea that I would talk to his people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "How's tomorrow sound?" And I'm like, usually like I like weeks to prepare. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Okay, sure.
Oh,
I'm like,
excellent.
absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah.
Bernie's still going strong, man. He was on the cruise with us and did all the Q&As and everything. 92 years old.
He's amazing. And
Yeah.
great. I mean, I remember telling someone, I was like, I feel weird calling it an interview, since basically Bernie said, "Hey Jeff," and then talked for 45 minutes.
Easily.
Amazing story after amazing story. And I had to I remember having to go. He goes, "On the Love Boat." And I go, "Whoa, Bernie, let's talk about Get Smart for a second." Because sometimes people think I'm a lot younger than I am. I'm like, I love Get Smart. We got to get at least a minute on Get Smart as well.
Smart.
Yeah. His career goes back way before Get Smart, though. I mean, he was on the original Danny Kaye show. And
That Girl and stuff like that. Yeah.
Bewitched.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Doris Day show, if you please.
So much goodness. Ted, Fred, and of course Jill, who had to leave already. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for helping us promote our podcast, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. It was a pleasure to talk to you again. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited when they're like, "Hey, they're doing the Love Boat podcast." Yes.
Great. Well,
yeah, that was.
I guess all podcasters have to stick together. It's a large fraternity, but an important one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a pleasure, and I wish you all the best. And I believe I already subscribed, so you're probably at the 241.
So listen, I'll just leave you with this tip. My daughter Mariah will be in Suffs at the Detroit Fisher Theater in your backyard on April 13th through the 26th. So if you want to go,
it's worth the journey, Jeff. Check her out, please.
If you're interested,
the Fisher Theater is amazing.
No, it's and she plays all these big theaters like the Pantages and the Orpheum in San Francisco and stuff. So, and it's a good show. It's worth seeing. So, if you're interested, get in touch and I'll see what I can do.
All right. That sounds amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, Jeff. Take care. Bye-bye.